We were scheduled to lift some perforation guns up to the wellhead platform in the early hours. The crane would be backing off another job, finishing around 3 a.m. The TCP engineer was woken up when it was our turn so that he could watch the lift. I think he was a bit tired.
The banksman went through the lift stages briefly with the crane operator, whilst the TCP engineer explained that they would have to lift with wire slings. The banksman joked with the crane operator that the lift would be easy.
Easy. It was all done in a couple of minutes. I wouldn't call it a job safety analysis. It was just like any other shift on any other day. The lift was pretty easy, I guess.
Bundles of perforation guns from the rig deck to the platform were to be lifted. There was a team of 4 mustered on the deck. The crane operator couldn't see the load, so he was to be guided by the banksman.
That wasn't unusual. I don't think anything was unusual that day.
The 2 roustabouts were to guide the load with taglines at each end of the bundles as the load was lifted. The banksman would guide the crane operator and the TCP engineer would watch.
We didn't discuss any potential issues or risks, and at 3:50, we were ready to start lifting the first bundle.
It was a pretty regular lift. Nothing anyone thought would cause us any issues or anything. Once we had the taglines and slings hooked, we were ready to roll. The roustabouts took hold of the tags and I gave the order to lift. The load began to lift up slowly. It all seemed pretty simple. We had to lift around an overhead obstruction that juts out from the staircase. It's not a problem. We're used to it. So once the front sling touched the staircase, I stopped the lift and asked the front roustabout to pull in his tagline so that the bundle and the sling came free of the obstruction. As soon as I saw it was free, I radioed the crane operator to move the bundle forward towards where I wanted to lay it down. Everything was fine up to here. It was all in control. I noticed one of the roustabouts shouting something to the TCP engineer, who moved forward into the hazard area. He shouldn't have been in that area.
I noticed the other roustabout had seen something was a little out on the rigging. He thought it could be resolved by adding a clamp.
The roustabout called over to the TCP engineer, releasing some of the tension on his tagline. This made the load trail over towards the staircase, where the wire sling became trapped. The TCP engineer immediately moved forward to speak to him.
We all thought that the crane had stopped the lift. It didn't seem to be moving at the time, at least not to me.
I saw the TCP engineer speaking to the roustabout, who seemed to be asking about something. It didn't seem anything urgent. The roustabout still seemed to have control. I couldn't see that he released the tension on his tagline. The TCP engineer had only been over beside the roustabout for, I don't know, a few seconds, I think. I didn't give an order to stop the lift. I hadn't realized the others thought the lift had stopped.
I was still holding on to my dark light. I thought the load had stopped moving, but it hadn't. And when the snap on the stairway came free, the whole load did the same.
I had a huge crash and the explosives bunker fell over from the impact of the swinging load. I heard the others shout something. So, it's only when I saw the hard hat lying on the deck and they were asked about running for a medic that I realised the load had hit the TCP engineer in the head. I knew from the noise he would be in a bad way. Just knew. All the guy's colleagues joined the medic to help out in the sickbay. They fought so hard to save him, but his injuries were horrific. We waited for news and saw the medevac chopper coming in. But by then, it was too late. He was already dead.